I now call to order the Planning Commission public hearing and regular session agenda for January 3rd, 2017. Roll call, please.
Costick.
Salopek.
Burke here.
McCoy here.
Graham here.
Buckles here.
Let the record show that,
Mike's.
yes, Max Stroop's not here. Thank you. Sir?
Call the Cape Charles Town Council Planning Commission joint meeting public hearing for the Planning Commission to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Dan in here.
Sullivan present. Natalie here.
Brian present.
That present.
Buckles present. We have a quorum. Thank you. The meeting is yours.
Application for the conditional use permit to have a second floor residential dwelling unit above the first floor at 1 Fig Street, lot 83A3-1-534, Kellogg Building. Do we have any public comment?
Yes. David Cable. Catherine. Sorry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to comment in reference to an application for a conditional use permit for a second floor residential apartment in the Kellogg Building. I want to recommend to you that this use be allowed. By the way, I'm David Cavler, live here in Realty here in town, and I live at 10352 Church Neck Road, Massachusetts. Forgive me for that. I'm very familiar with the Kellogg Building, having handled its sale to the present owners back in 1996, and as a listing agent for the owners in its present obligation under contract of sale to the applicants, Chad and Bev Petrus. The Petruses have plans to purchase the property to open it for business as soon as possible, with a key part of their plans being able to reside on the second floor while the first floor is kept as commercial space. The financial feasibility, along with other considerations of residing on the same property as their business, is a key factor in the practicality of fulfilling their goals. I think it is safe to say that such a residential use as proposed and requested by the applicants is key to the overall investment and development of the subject property. The ability to reside in the same property with their business will save hundreds of thousands of dollars that would be required for the applicants to purchase a separate residence for their relocation from Indiana to Cape Charles. Further, it is a fact that other commercial properties here in the town of Cape Charles have residential apartments on the second, third, and fourth floors. And it appears to be in keeping with the zoning ordinance to allow this type of use. It would be in keeping with the town's economic development objectives to allow this conditional use permit. I hope that you will grant this application for conditional use. Here's a copy of the letter.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
No one else has signed up, but I did receive a letter in writing from Greg and Laura Losi.
Okay.
And they said, we respectfully request that you grant a conditional use permit allowing the future owner of the Kellogg Building at 3 Fig Street to build an apartment on the second floor of the building. We have been using the building as a workshop and we're not in need of living quarters upstairs. The potential buyer of the building plans to live above the commercial first floor and use first floor to start a new business in Cape Charles. Thank you for your consideration of this matter. Respectfully, Laura Losi.
Is it 3 Fig or 1 Fig? Do we know?
It is by the 911 map, 1 Fig. Even the historic district register only lists it as building at the Kellogg Building at the corner of Mason and Fig. It assigns a number to it. Perhaps back in the day, the little office was 1 Fig, and the actual structure of the principal building was 3. it's identified as one and as a 911 map, and that may be for convenience sake, so that people know that the first responders, they get to the Kellogg building, they know it's there. What matters is tax map, that's correct.
Is that just a little point you have to get resolved before?
I'm listing it as one fig because that's what a 911 map shows. At least that's my footnote on it.
Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? So carried. Public hearing is closed.
May I have a motion to adjourn the town council portion of this meeting? I make a motion. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate it. We do it as a work session Thursday, the regular meeting is the third Thursday.
I'm Jerry Biden. I just live on this block.
Steve Bennett, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Steve. I just moved into my house here.
Okay, can we stand for a moment of silence? Any other public comment, Libby? Okay. Do we have any feedback on the agenda format? Mike isn't here, so this is going to be a little interesting. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda format as written?
At what point can I insert something into the agenda, even
This
if
is
it's for next week, next month, I don't care.
This would be a good time.
Okay, I want to insert that we discuss the anti-tether dog law, dog leash law.
Okay, all right.
Put that on next month's agenda. Yeah, if we can, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Any feedback on the minutes? I looked them over, I didn't notice
I
anything.
didn't see anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mike's not here as a resident editor.
Typo here, typo there.
Yeah, but, yeah, whatever, yeah, okay. I found something else elsewhere, we'll get to that later. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Reports, sir?
I have nothing to add this month, Mr. Chairman, unless there are any questions, I'm happy to entertain them.
Okay. I didn't have any questions. All right. Old business. Application for the conditional use permit to have second floor residential dwelling unit above the first floor at 1 Fig, lot 83A3-1-534 Kellogg Building. We heard 2 public comments. Do I have a motion to accept the application for conditional use as written?
I make a motion to accept.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Congratulations, folks.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Nice to meet you all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Most definitely. Okay. Proposed draft historic town entrance design criteria. You want to take us through this thing?
Yes, sir. What you've got is the follow-up from the joint meeting between the town council and the board of supervisors, which occurred on the 25th of October. One of those items of discussion was the joint planning design criteria for new development along the entrance corridor.
Right.
Town entrance, HT, at least in the town vernacular, that's how we refer to it.
Right.
What you've got included by way of the attachments are the section of the approved minutes from that meeting that dealt with that issue specifically. And then the design criteria from, for the most part, the C3 district, which is the town, which is the town gateway zoning before we get into the county.
Okay.
Which covers a lot of design and building material type issues. So staff's proposing, in recognition of what the county has put forward, that certain things that are under Northampton County jurisdiction remain, such as signage and parking. But other design criteria, such as the material section of what are and what are not acceptable as building materials, be moved forward as town interest to see that those material standards are maintained. That underground utilities that all utilities be put underground, which our zoning ordinance requires. Our zoning ordinance also requires dark skies, that also be put forward as a town interest design criteria. That architectural treatments, there at Article 3, Section 36G1, speak to, for the most part, exteriors of the building. There may be an issue there with metal buildings, and the staff report threw that out because it seems like, at least as reported from that meeting on the 25th of October, the county has some recognition of the value of metal buildings, and out of county zoning, that wouldn't be a surprise. And metal buildings aren't what they used to be, so perhaps with some safeguards built in, you don't get unattractive metal buildings. You can actually get an attractive modern metal building. And then outside storage areas be treated the way we do in the C3, which is to say that there's a measure of screening, not visible, and then outdoor storage of all parking, by the vehicles, except the passenger vehicles, so it doesn't become an anti-parking lot.
Yep.
Sitting out there on the main street of town.
Okay.
That's a start. Also, I believe my staff report mentioned something along the lines of that the signage, to the extent that we want to get into it, accommodate the height requirements from Mason Avenue, which is 6 feet maximum height.
Okay.
Don't show large lots, but it's a 6-foot high sign. Fairly visible signage. Get out of the pylon business or standing signs and things like that.
Has anyone ever discussed that you know of with VDOT in terms of if development starts along 184, if they're going to adjust the speed limit? Has anybody ever seen that?
They may make them put, depending upon what it is, the scope of it, they may even put a deceleration on it.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I was thinking.
they
They're
may-
going to do something.
Maybe through there, so.
Yeah, especially if it's a significantly sized facility. The Olive Garden scenario.
Yeah, well, it all depends, especially if it's new. So it pre-existed, like what I bought over there in Cherry. I'm not gonna make me do it.
Right, right. But you're right, yeah, new and larger, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, where you're at, it's like 35 or something.
Yeah, we're gonna run into the same issue once whatever happens in Rhode Island, once that starts going. That's gonna be an issue. They're gonna have to adjust that speed limit there. If they don't, there's gonna be major accidents. Turning in and out of there, especially if it's
Where?
clean.
Where? On 180.
By the water tower, the steel building.
The old reliable
vote.
Well, what they may end up doing is moving the lower speed limit further out of town.
Correct.
And that,
Roof up, did you say?
That's the rumor.
you know, we'll just fly a lot around here. Yeah. And that could be a very simple solution from a VDOT
Yeah,
perspective.
probably move back to, that stone driveway, I forget who it is, that's actually on the road, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Plus golf cart traffic, remember out that way?
I'm sorry?
That's right.
Plus golf cart traffic up that way, they would do that too.
Mm-hmm.
We might have a problem with VDOT, just like over at Bay Creek, you know, I mean, they don't like to lower the limits. They did lower it from 55 to 35.
Yeah, that's what
But they may still just say, goes from 55 to 40, you know, and then the question is, hey, wait, it's town limits, why can't we drive a golf cart, you know? We want to go to the group pub, drive a golf cart up there. You know,
Well, can't the town request them to drop the speed limit over there?
The question, or do a study on it.
Which I think we did.
We did that on Old Cape Charles
That's
Road
okay.
several times, and 35 was as low as they went.
Can't go much faster than anyway. But, I mean, on 184, I mean, if it's a big facility coming in, I'm sure VDOT, since it's a managed road by VDOT, especially with a large capacity of anything, they'll probably make them.
But you also have that stoplight that's going to be there too, so.
Yeah, well, one of the things on that road, there's not much commercial up there. If you look at the county map, the only commercial up there is right around where the little A-frame building is, storage unit, some stuff on Parsons Circle,
Yeah,
and not much, there's not much past it. So
which is why they are so protective of that interchange between 184 and 13.
Now, but right there where that billboard is, where that farm field is, that was next to the Toddy building that sold, and they're finally fixing that thing up, that whole corner is commercial.
From the house out to 13?
Yeah. And that would be, ooh, if they put a strip mall there, that'd be really nice, or coming to 10 off of
I don't know that there's going to be much the town can do, but what the town can do is, at that point,
that. No, we brought it up, and it was,
yeah,
we were
and
very,
VDOT basically says, stay out of my sandbox.
yeah, but we were very,
Well, I should say county said that.
we were pretty much trying to tell the board of supervisors,
I know, and that,
we don't want this.
yes, I understand. But what you could consider doing is putting a buffer zone between that high development area and the town entrance, and talk to BOS about what can go in there, and then do a more restrictive, preferred overlay further back into town.
Yeah, the only thing is, I mean, it's, all the C1 is actually on the Cape Charles side, the other side is owned by VDOT, and that's where they were gonna put the,
Oh, yeah, understand.
so, right next to the bank, that big lot, and then one next to Phil's, I don't even know, so is he in business anymore?
No.
So, once that place sells, who knows what they're gonna do there?
Yeah, exactly. Libby, do you want to keep this for the record?
I have a copy.
Oh, good, good. Okay. Any other questions?
No, but, well, yeah, I do have that.
Go ahead.
In terms of getting into all the architectural nuances that I read in here that we're proposing to the county, that seems to be so detailed and specific. I can't see how the county's going to buy into that. I was just wondering if there's a more general
Yeah,
approach to this.
if it's, you're thinking especially about that material section where
Right.
all those items are enumerated,
Yeah.
that's what we've got that applies to our C1 and our C3.
Right, right, I understand we would do that in towns, we want that,
It
but.
was the whole part of keeping the continuity the same.
Yeah.
There is a distance issue, I mean.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a
You,
continuity issue.
you want, at some point, to make it very clear visually, you're entering a different zone. And it's just a matter of figuring out what that point is, and getting to some agreement with BOS and.
Yeah, and that's why I brought up the distance between, as soon as you pass that little A-frame,
Yep,
it's all residential.
yeah.
So, and then, and on the south side of 184 Merlin, that's all railroad property,
Yeah.
so nothing's being built there.
You're telling us we have basically no control.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, not much is gonna happen. I guess the main thing was we're trying to talk to them about, you know, not junking it up there.
Right,
It's coming to
this,
town.
I think this
And
is just gonna get
that's-
thrown right back.
It was that, no, they were pretty open to it, they were.
The specific items?
Well, they were pretty much open to listening to us, and they wanted us to get back to them with specifics. That's why we're doing this. But they were not opposed to it just because of, you know, the charm of Cape Charles.
But do they have that anywhere in Northampton, in their regulations? They don't regulate it.
I would doubt it, I don't,
Most other towns are right on 13, that's the
Right,
challenge.
and other towns do, but Northampton.
Yeah, but the big,
County doesn't.
that's the big difference between us and the rest of the towns in Northampton County. We're 2 miles in, everybody else has a piece of 13.
Right,
We're the only one that does not.
yep.
Eastville has it on both sides of the highway, but we're not.
Right, much to the chagrin of our police department, I might add.
Well, it's just revenue source, so they don't have it. Exactly, I understand, yeah. They lost after Exmoor, yeah.
So is Sheridan, that's how Sheridan got the new playground and parking lot.
Yeah.
Tickets, right there, because they had the same deal.
so I think you're sort of roundabout, I think there's a philosophical approach to this that includes things like buried utilities and dark skies. And then
We can suggest an overlay, certainly, that any new construction would have to abide by. And propose that to county.
That was the whole purpose of it, especially that one corner lot.
Yeah,
In the
right.
west.
And let everything else just lie, because like I said, we don't have much control over it.
No, the south, no, it's that more specific areas. I don't even have to do it, we talked about X amount of feet or yards or half a mile or something, north and south. Something like that.
we're talking about the town edge,
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's in.
Yeah, it was, yeah, because that was meeting was a few months ago. But there wasn't proposed, it was not the whole thing, it was just that general location of coming into town.
Right, right.
Just to, yeah, do exactly what you were saying.
Just a visual identity that you're now coming into a different space, and this is the look and feel of that space.
Yeah.
Right, right. Okay. Any other discussion on 5B? You looking for any other guidance from us, Larry?
I'm happy to report all this back to the town council
Okay,
and get direction at that point.
okay, that's fine, that's fine.
Again, if it's, for the most part, the specifics of the materials list, for instance, that's, the commission feels less convinced on is.
Yeah, that's almost like a red cape in front of a bowl.
Yeah, but it could be, you're right, it could be a bargaining kind of thing, something you can use to bow out of.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's a good point. That's a very good
design.
point. Yeah, right,
It's
right.
not, it's not all.
We decide we don't want to do this at all or something like that. Yep, absolutely, yeah. Right, okay. Moving on to C, planning documents review.
As we continue to take the council's documents used for the preparation of the comprehensive plan. Two off that list, the 2020 transportation plan from 1999 and the 2006 sidewalk study. Now,
Yeah, okay.
VDOT's done the V-Trans 2035, and the Planning District Commission has done a lot of recent, nice reports that, we should probably be looking at anyway.
Okay.
And then off the council's priorities list, that went in as the amended section for implementation section in the comprehensive plan. There's a new sidewalk infill project that's listed as a priority, which would supersede anything done by the 2006 sidewalk study. So staff recommends that the commission classify both the 1999 2020 transportation plan and the 2006 sidewalk studies archival to be superseded by other things.
Do I have a motion to
So moved.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Okay. Current sign ordinance language on signage in the public right-of-way and proposed draft amendment language. This is the one I found something that I thought probably we should talk through a little bit more.
Let me correct the ordinance resolution.
Go ahead.
There's just no other way to describe it. Right in this report, I just had a mental block.
It's okay.
And it's just a resolution, and it's not a resolution. But I could have read it 20 times, and to me, it's reading right. It was just one of those mental blocks.
That's okay. My only concern was VDOT made a very specific point about safety in that space. And town looked like they were trying to preempt that right of VDOT. And that needed to be in that document somewhere where town would not do that. Because it almost looked as if, the way it was currently written, that town was going to try and preempt all of VDOT's authority. That was why I said, whoa, wait a minute.
And if you get into the nuts and bolts of the sign ordinance anyway, it does talk about visibility from corners and such.
Right.
And
I mean, the points are valid about the content. No disagreement on that at all. I'm just more concerned about you getting a lot of pushback from VDOT using the current language. That's my biggest concern.
Yeah, the whole purpose of this thing was basically to let the town enforce VDOT's rules.
Which is fine as long as VDOT gets to buy into this.
So supposedly, I guess, some of the people on the town council said that they had, I forget who it is, said we had a verbal agreement.
Yeah, I understand.
And what we're trying to do is get this in writing.
Yep. And there probably should be a VDOT review of this document.
Yeah, that's why.
And it needs to be VDOT friendly before the VDOT gets to review it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Or neutral at least,
Yeah, we'll be glad to police your signs.
Yeah, we'll bring it to your attention, whatever, yeah. Because they're the enforcement arm, we're not. Well, okay, and that's part of the thing. We gotta figure out with VDOT, who's gonna be the enforcement, or can both be enforcers or whatever, yeah.
Or if they give us the same authority or enforcement as they do, we could both be enforcers.
Yeah, theoretically, I'm not sure, well, I don't know enough about VDOT's
I'm sure
culture.
I'm sure they don't want to relinquish any.
I would think so too. Yeah.
Almost positive, but.
Yeah, but you propose it. Okay. So you have enough input to,
well, I do, and thank you. What I don't necessarily, but what I would appreciate some discussion of it, since it's not exactly a quarter to nine.
right.
We have again, in the ordinance, we've got the inconsistency of who approves what, and going with who approves what comes with where does an appeal for what go.
Oh, right.
One section, it's the town manager and VDOT, and then there's another section, which is the non-content neutral, which is probably needs to be struck anyway.
Yep.
It's the zoning administrator and VDOT. in which case, by another section of the ordinance, appeals of the zoning administrator go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, appeals from the town manager go to the town council. So I think in fairness to VDOT, if they're gonna enter an agreement with,
Zoning,
who's in charge?
I would say zoning.
I don't think so.
First way, because worst case scenario, if it filtered up that chain.
And it's a well understood process,
Correct.
and it's not,
No, I see exactly what you're saying.
Well,
go ahead.
zoning enforces the signage, all the other signage, so why would this be any different?
Because one section says the town manager and VDOT.
I would suggest you strike that town manager and put zoning and just leave it
Yeah,
that.
we'll have to address,
You're just trying to get out of that.
I'm sure we'll have to vote on that.
Yeah,
Do we
okay.
have to vote on it?
On that particular thing, to remove it by that, yeah.
Text in there.
It's only hearing. Can we do it now?
No, it's a public hearing.
Are you kidding? Jeez.
You wanna move that to February?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do that.
because we gotta make it consistent and those are.
Yeah.
How are we gonna set, what are we gonna say?
Basically, all the ordinances signed throughout the entire thing. Goes through the zoning administrator.
Right,
Okay.
and then whatever,
Because that's kind of crazy, because if the town manager turns out, yeah, go ahead, no problem. It can be totally illegal,
yeah,
but he says, good, go ahead. Then
yeah, what's
we're
the
dead in the
point?
water, then we're dead in the water, what's the point? Because anybody who come making hearing can go to the town manager, I want to put a sign, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
It
Now,
just-
are there
it
any
just
other-
opens up the whole, it just messes up the entire flow.
Are there any other conflicts like this that you're aware of?
Yeah, there's all sorts of reporting. There's all sorts of reporting and inconsistencies, not just in this section, but all over this.
Well, do we want to do a big fix
Well,
for anything you can dig up? Do you want to look and dig it up? We'll do this
And
all in one public hearing?
we're gonna have a public hearing. We're gonna
Because
text
we
you,
did,
might as well
when did we
text.
do this? Didn't we just go through this, oh, we just did the sign portion.
right, right.
We spent all that time, and so
Yep.
we could do it again.
Well, okay, here's a thought. We could do for the whole thing and then get bogged down going back and forth between us and town council. Or we could do this, just this one, get this one out of the way, and then go back and do the other stuff, knowing what we learned from interaction with town council the first time. I kind of like the second idea,
I tell you too.
Okay.
all right?
Sounds good.
Because it'll put everybody on the same page.
Sorry?
It'll put everybody on the same page.
Yes.
Because that makes it a little bit more smoother going forward for making it.
Do I have a motion to recommend to Larry that he takes such action?
I'll make a motion that Larry takes such.
All in favor? Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Now,
So
we're gonna have to, we really should address the other ones.
Oh, absolutely, yes, I don't disagree.
But I agree with what you're saying.
It's just a matter of laying the groundwork first, and then we can rock and roll on the other stuff.
That's crazy. I was in there, town manager. I could just see people doing that.
Exactly.
What about all these other recommendations that he thinks?
3 of them are not with that. What do you want to do with banners? I mean, the banners.
Aren't they temporary?
Well, but you know what, by our ordinance, they're signs too,
Yeah.
so.
Like temporary grand opening when what do we have?
What's the issue, Eric?
Well, it's content. If you say, hey, we allow a banner that says for 1 week, grand opening, because it says grand opening, as opposed to banners that say.
This guy sleeps
No,
around?
no, no. Are you talking about the last bullet?
I'm talking about the last bullet, which is our banners.
Yeah.
But at the same time, our ordinance also allows for temporary, like, special event banners.
And you're saying that's illegal because of content?
Well,
Which
So
I
can
think,
we do, special events could pertain to anything.
we've got a banner on the side of a building right now that's, I can't say it's a public safety issue. it directs people to Strawberry Street shops.
Yes, okay.
It's been there
Oh,
forever.
yeah, right.
To me, that's a ban, there's nothing temporary about it. It was a grand opening because all those stores, was grand open, I would turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah, I think
But at the
that
same time,
they were kind of given a little grace because of the Lakeland fund.
Right.
That's the whole, that was the whole,
Well, it's also that and the sandwich boards and all the other stuff.
yeah, it was supposed to alleviate the sandwich ones, which I don't think it did.
I had a question for you too, the bake shop sign, is that new?
the bake shop sign is new.
Is that legal?
Well, it's not that new, it's been a good couple of months.
Bake shop?
Yeah,
Base.
on the side of
On the
bills.
side.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty big. I didn't,
His frontage, that faces the street, it's a different, it's not, it doesn't apply to the front of the building.
Right,
He's got 50 square feet you can put on the side of the building.
Right,
that's not road frontage, because it doesn't face a road. I
right.
mean,
so he could do the whole side of that building?
He's got 50 square
50
feet,
feet.
which is where he's at, just about.
What is it?
He's just about at 50 square feet, because that tax is big.
Yeah. And it's sign area, it's not sign geometry. That's another thing I like.
Yeah. Now Tom, David.
I'd like to fix that one of these days, but to just get back to old geometry.
Go to, we gotta go to geometry. That, when we do the sign ordinance again, we gotta go to geometry, not square, not content, not by the letter. It's based on the letter. The signboard doesn't count, it's just the content, the lettering was calculated. So theoretically, your 1 foot square on your house could be pretty large. You could have a 10-foot A-frame with, what is it, how many square feet is that thing? Sandwich.
10 square feet.
10 square feet, you have a 20-foot sandwich board out there with 10 feet of little verbiage. It could be ginormous, open.
Yeah,
And the other thing that's counted is open.
Wow.
The area should be the substrate and not just the.
See, Tom was when Tom was planning that, he was under the, he basically thought it was geometry based. Because I had to prove to him Bay Haven was no bigger than 2 square feet because of the different cut. It's long with that wall on it. So it can make it as big as possible. But in theory, this thing could have been a lot bigger by the code the way it's written now.
And remember, banners are safe and cheap. They're still signs
Well, why can't they still be just basically put under as special events?
because it's content based.
Well, if it's a special event, it could be anything.
Can't be?
Okay, does somebody
So
just
now
have to
you're-
declare?
Not like saying special event, like basically a grand opening, special event could be something that happened at the church or,
Okay, here's the thing.
or someone's running for office.
Special event could be one of the businesses, the business association saying, let's start a new event called Give Strawberry Street a Break. That's what that sign's for.
Yeah, that's only for a week.
So then how do you accommodate the businesses when you put them in a bind like that? That's the real challenge.
And realistically, that's what that ordinance was about and why the banner on the side of that building is something I turn a blind eye to. Because practically speaking, they get lost.
Yeah, that's my point, yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I don't disagree with that, I really don't. I really don't.
Can't we make that a conditional use?
Why?
A temporary conditional use?
Why? Okay, the way the ordinance is written, we're disadvantaged.
There are losers in this.
Yeah,
There are
exactly.
losers in this.
Yes. Yeah.
The bad guys in this.
Well, you could consider us incompetent.
Well, that's why I say special event, because it could, special event.
And that's why I was trying to come up with some marketing speak that we could use for their particular situation and just leave it at that and move forward. But you say 1 week limit.
Permanent sign that points to those businesses down on Strawberry.
There's a couple of because,
They could pay for the signage.
yeah, but, I guess they could, instead of, they have to want to get permission from the building owner. Still gotta follow the suit on the sign ordinance. Can't put it in VDOT right away, it's gotta be in that building.
So it can't be on a corner?
Nope,
But there's
Yeah,
nothing
you get-
worse on that
you got
corner
an
with
8-foot,
4 different
easement.
boards.
Nothing could be there.
So then all the sandwich boards that port to drizzles and so forth are,
If they're up 8 feet off the sidewalk towards their building, if they're within that 8 feet, they are. If they're close to the building.
Tell me why we can't put it on a pole, like,
oh, that's what I'm thinking. And they could
Because
pay.
the VDOT's, it's the VDOT.
you know, well, you
You
know,
got
I,
height restrictions and everything else.
well, I've seen them in others towns here, I mean, we've,
Where?
in Virginia,
Don't we have one over by the marina,
isn't,
down harbor, I mean, doesn't it say
That's
so?
illegal
we
too.
just saw this, I just saw,
So if it's illegal, I mean,
Well, caused in the.
Matter of fact, it
That
was-
one was caused in there because it was existing. Right, I don't know. That's been there since Big Feet. They just cleaned it up.
What the town council is planning is they want to go to wayfinding signage, but they want that to come under the purview of the Community Enhancement Board, which is going to be following the Main Street approach. That's going to be coming up probably in the next couple of months. And that's what the council is wanting this new board to tackle. That's going to be one of their first things, to get consistent branding and wayfinding signs.
you see
That's
that?
what this ordinance was, the resolution was temporary signage until the wayfinding signage can be put in
they
place.
do some
We
really
just have to
pretty
learn about wayfinding.
and aesthetically pleasing stuff.
Yeah.
Really pretty stuff. And that would be a cost.
Yeah, but the VDOT thing was an issue because when we looked into that, there was an issue of us putting the wayfinding pointing up there in the VDOT right of way. Because it's gotta basically, it's gotta be an ordinance with their signage, construction, breakaway and everything else. There's a big issue with that. Now, when we were talking about Strawberry Street with all the little bump outs and all that stuff going on there, we're going back to that, what they're doing on the north side, that the signage, they could possibly put the signage in those little areas, but Strawberry Street's not getting that done, it's not getting done now, but they could, it's traffic calming, what do you call it, curves.
Okay.
But I just remember going through this with VDOT, I mean, this is probably turning into reverse angle parking garbage, that they said, no, you can't do it, and 6 months later, I said, yeah, you can, we didn't say that. You know, same crap that happened to us before. So, but Lib's right, if they do that, it probably won't happen anyway until
It's probably going to take a year.
2018 before they even get to it. Because they gotta set up this whole organization, get it running, before they even try to tackle them. Plus, then they have to apply for grants and everything else. So, who knows how long the process takes too, that's not overnight.
I would propose a sign on the side of the library, and notice to the business owners that there's gonna be a sunset on the little pop-up signs. And that basically fulfills the obligation of that ordinance. To come up with either amend the text, which some of that will be done, or come up with a wayfinding sign. Doesn't have to be the best wayfinding sign or the most best branded, but at least, remember that ordinance was passed in October of 2014, January of 2017.
Virginia basically in temporary, you know, they can put it up there, it's not permanent. Virginia Savage has that building.
And when Strawberry Street Plaza gets done, that's town property, we can put as many signs, point people in what direction as possible, and don't have to worry about VDOT or anybody else. But that's a year and a half away as well.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna happen, it's just not gonna happen overnight.
No, I understand.
I don't know what they're gonna call.
Straight across Strawberry Street.
Go straight across, and
There's a second building gonna be built to the west possibly, right in between them. if you would continue down Strawberry Street, it's right across the street. Same width as Strawberry Street, view shed. So the view shed doesn't get obstructed. So it's a continuing street, even though it's not a street. That's something we did 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
exactly. Part of the comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
Yep, right.
So same thing could happen up on Pine Street, or Harbor, you know. Harbor's gonna be a challenge.
You probably don't want to do that on Harbor.
You know what I'm saying? If we did, it would be a big challenge. But who wants to see?
All the water comes this way.
Yeah, but who wants to see a concrete plan anyway?
Yeah, yeah.
I have a question on the sandwich boards. We had, people were falling over them and they were blowing down. Where's the liability on that if somebody gets hurt with one?
The sandwich boards were specifically allowed by ordinance.
One per shop.
One per shop, but
That's pretty.
they were meant to alleviate the billboard issue.
Right, that's right.
Anything that was off premises became a billboard.
And it's, well,
Still didn't answer your question.
Well,
That's
the
why I
town,
don't-
the town's gonna be considered to have pockets, and the reason why that sign is there, especially for the Strawberry Street businesses, is because that ordinance says, basically that ordinance created a right for them. Whether that's a right of trespass or a right of speech, but it did create a right for them to put their sign there.
right.
And again, it's during business hours, so it goes up and comes down at
Right.
times, but during those times when that sign is there, the reason, if VDOT were to say, why is that sign there? We didn't approve it. The property owner or the sign owner has the right to say, no, but the town did.
But to
The
the
property
question,
owner doesn't own the sidewalk, does he or she?
But it owned the sign. If the sign is the obstruction, the liability lies with the sign.
right.
With the
Basically,
sign.
with the sign. And basically, that's what the Supreme Court said to the local governments a year ago. We'll give you not much. We'll give you aesthetics, and we'll give you public safety. Regulate that as far as the signs. Everything else, leave alone. So signs on a sidewalk are arguably more of an obstruction to public safety than any of those banners that are strapped to any of the buildings or the light posts are.
Where do we stand with wind feathers and stuff like that?
As signage, that's movable signage. That distracts drivers. You can't have it.
They're illegal in Northampton County. Highway, even though they're up,
Pardon me?
even though you see them out there, they're illegal. They'll send out a letter, you got 30 days to remove it. As soon as you remove it, put it back up, you got 30 more days. It's a never-ending battle. Even the little real estate ones, produce, those are illegal too. They're still making it though.
But this is
I
always,
tell them, it's like, they're gonna send you a bit, they're gonna send you a letter.
this is always tough stuff.
Can you buy a permit for a sign in Northampton County?
Yes.
What are the limits to that?
It depends on where they're going.
Yeah.
For instance, I just did a gateway sign for the town of Janesville on the post office, leased post office grounds. I don't know if you guys are familiar, it's like going up to, what's that beach up there?
Silver Beach.
Silver Beach.
Okay.
Basically, US government rents this property and puts a post office in there. Basically, I had to pay $160 for them to come out and inspect 2 holes in the ground to make sure they were deep enough and put the sign up. So it was $160 for less than 32 square feet. Once you start getting into the sizes, the fees go up based on size.
Nothing illuminated.
There are illuminated signs in Northampton County. You got Willie Randall's up there.
Yep.
But that's town of Exmoor too. It's not in the county, it's town of Exmoor. So I don't know if they're allowed in the county.
town.
They didn't used to be.
I don't think they're allowed in the county, but that's the town of Exmoor, that's why it's there.
Gooseneck lighted, no backlight. They have to be lit at night.
Yeah,
I think they also have an ordinance in their sign ordinance that says there will be no more new signs.
in Northampton County?
Yeah.
New buildings.
Yeah, new buildings.
Yeah, they're all closed,
Well,
grandfathered.
Boards are becoming very difficult anyway.
They're expensive.
A lot of them are becoming privately owned. And especially in the smaller towns.
Yeah, I have a billboard hanging because the insurance company said, we're not doing that, we want to share. No problem. I'm not doing it. I hate them. They're a pain in the ass.
The signage to a business owner is really something near and dear.
Yeah, right.
And the ability to drive a customer is something that we all should be very accountable for to a certain
Which is
degree.
why we cannot touch content. One of the reasons why.
So who controls what goes in the window on Mason?
No one.
Well,
We control size.
That's it.
visibility.
So is it town or is it landlord?
No, that's the town.
Town.
It's the town, but here again, we've got a content neutral issue.
Right.
Strictly speaking, in the window sign, on the sign ordinance in the commercial windows, you can only advertise what you've got in your shop. So anything that's a fundraiser for so-and-so that's gonna be held at the Oyster Farm, well, if I'm in the 200 block of Mason Avenue, this ain't the Oyster Farm. Strictly speaking, that sign's gotta go, but that's a content-based decision. It's not a based decision, because if that 8.5 by 11 says fundraiser at the Oyster Farm compared to 50% off in the shop, it's still no more of so it's pretty much gonna give you public safety. That's no more of a public visibility or public safety issue, that sign saying 50% off for the shop compared to fundraiser at the Oyster Farm Friday night. Our ordinance regulates the speech of it, not the size of the sign, or the visibility, or the construction materials. We say that you can't have that sign in your window because that's not going on your shop. That's a content-based, and that's regulated speech,
Perfect example,
which
when
we can't do.
Fast and Friday signs, when
Yeah.
those were based on our ordinance, a big number.
Every one of them is illegal.
But we didn't have, we really don't have the authority to tell them to take it down. Based on the Supreme Court's decision, based on the content.
And I would suspect,
It's not worth that fight.
no, I'm thinking about the specific example you gave about a fundraiser at a different facility. That's enough of a gray area to probably warrant a Supreme Court case.
What had to do with the church?
Right.
Whatever, yeah, but yeah, that's the point. It's not classically what you think of when one business scratching the other business's back.
Yeah.
It's a third party trying to do,
Well,
better for everybody kind of thing.
Well, and who's to say that business owner doesn't want to promote that cause?
Exactly. Yes, right.
The town steps in to regulate what cause you can or can't
Right,
support
right,
on your property.
Yep, I understand.
After the judge stops laughing.
Yes, exactly.
And the banners are tough. I mean, I put the banners out there because ultimately we're gonna have to wrestle, somebody's gonna have to wrestle with it. The banners are for the good purpose. We don't understand why it's all commendable, but it's there with a particular type of speech.
We're talking about commercial districts here, right? We're not
That's
talking
it.
about residential.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for the continual questions, but Strawberry Street is a point of conversation, is that correct?
Yeah, Strawberry Street's why we have that ordinance that's attached.
And the banner that's on that building currently, that builder does the owner of that building have issue with it?
No,
No.
she gave me the okay to put it.
that's right.
So we have issue with the sign and its aesthetics, is that the issue?
We have issue with the size of the sign, we have the issue with the aesthetics of the sign, we have issue with the duration of that sign being up.
Based on the ordinance.
Based on what we got. So if the sign was corrected, excuse me, guys.
No, go ahead.
If the size was corrected and the aesthetics approved, and if it was taken down and reinstalled, would we have issue?
Then I would consider that in the spirit of what the ordinance says about the pop-up signs.
What's the size?
So who controls the net of that? Who controls the start and the beginning of that?
Zoning administrator, within the context of what the ordinance, that ordinance from 2014 says.
And how many,
I don't know that I would give that banner 10 square feet.
and
That
how
banner
many,
may need more than 10 square feet. I don't know how effective that banner is for the people who,
Oh, the only reason they're getting at it because of the size of each logo.
the size of the letters are tiny.
It's tiny, they're not very big.
and how many businesses would share in the cost of
I
the
think it's
redo of that
5.
sign?
5. 4.
And how much would that sign cost? To make it aesthetically the way we would like it?
A hard sign?
Well, it's not a hard sign right now, right?
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's a one-year banner that they squeak.
But we don't want a hard sign because it's not allowed to be a permanent sign.
So that would become a billboard.
Pardon me?
That would become a
That would
billboard.
become a
It'd
billboard.
be more like something like a laundry nest.
Yeah, but that sign's old.
That's brand new. Next to the laundry basket,
That's not so new.
it's only about a year, 2 years old.
So how much would something like that cost?
And, I don't have my software. I don't
Just a
know.
ballpark.
Yes, I hate saying ballpark.
Well,
Well,
you
throw
guys
it
put it on the
out.
high end.
Based on that size right there, that's 30 inches by 6 feet roughly. Yeah, between $200 to $300.
And how many businesses?
5 or 6.
5 or 6. So wouldn't it make sense then, because it would have to do those business owners some good to drive the foot traffic on Mason down Strawberry, right? So what is it, 50, 60 bucks a business to have a new sign prepared and installed? What about a letter that goes out to the 5 or 6 business owners that says, hey, great news. We're gonna help you do more business, and it's gonna cost you 50 bucks.
Each, or so.
Even if it costs $100.
I know where you're going.
Who cares?
Yeah, right,
I know where you're
right,
going.
right.
And if you don't want to be on it, don't be on it.
I think that sign is in the spirit of what the pop-up signs for Strawberry Street intended.
I would rather have my business on the side of the building than some sandwich sign. That's for darn sure.
Well, and the whole purpose of that banner was, no one knew, everybody was saying, we're working on a waypoint sign, I don't know when that was gonna happen.
Right.
We still don't.
We
Right,
We
right,
still don't.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's the spirit of helping those business owners personally.
And would that then get rid of get rid of the sandwich boards?
No, they're still going, they're still.
You could still put one in front of your building, but it wouldn't need to be there on the sidewalk.
See, I think that
They're a
was
problem, those things are a problem. I've seen that.
Well,
in front of the building's not a problem. In my opinion.
In front of the
pedestrian
shop.
traffic gets,
Yeah,
if your pedestrian traffic gets heavy, you don't see those things until you're right on top of
That's why I
Well,
asked
the-
that question.
them. Right.
well, a
Yeah.
sandwich board that is this big, and a proper size sandwich board is about waist high. If you're missing that, we might have different issues.
I mean, you can, no, it's simply somebody could be standing in front of you, they see it, and step out of the way. You
Well,
won't
right now,
see it.
on our side of the street, there's 3 sandwich boards. And then what, Mariana's gonna open a business across the street, so then there'll be another sandwich board.
On the other side.
I think cleaning the sandwich boards up off the corner would be.
No, but your
huge.
point's right, but that would restrict them to a sandwich board in front of the shop, not at the corner.
And that goes up and down as the business opens and closes, correct?
Yeah.
But it's gotta be in front
I
of
would
the
put a
shop.
height up, I would put a height restriction.
We just,
Because I agree with Dan, those short ones.
We get a square foot, we get a square footage.
It's a square footage.
It's a square footage.
And the problem is, that's the only size, they sell them a little bit bigger, but not much. The sandwich ones, you could get them on the floppy springy thing, it might be 6 feet tall. But the bulk of the ones that are sold are the little short ones.
We got caught. I don't know
could
how
see a
many
couple that are
times.
really nice.
Oh, I know,
How many times I had to walk up
I know.
and get the
I
sandwich board because it had blown
I
over.
know. I know. I know, believe me, I know.
Any other comments on this before we move on?
Especially when
to-
Sam would do it on the cheap.
Before we move on to item E?
So I go back to what our instructor told us that time, way back all those years ago, when signage comes up, stay home.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, sometimes you gotta tackle the tough issues.
Has anybody, and pardon my ignorance on this, but has anybody ever tried to engage those folks, those 5 or 6 people to become part of the solution for that particular sign?
My understanding of the October 2014 ordinance is in September of 2014, one of the business owners approached town council about, I mean, it's in the minutes of that meeting, about some sort of relief out of which this ordinance came. It might have been August, it might have been a couple of months. But the idea was all the off-premises signs were considered. And again, on Mason Avenue, you've got your few feet, and then you're into VDOT right away. So if you put that sign in VDOT right away, it's off-premises, even though it's 6 feet in front of your building. So all those things were billboards, all by our ordinance, because they're off-premises. Every off-premises sign is a billboard by our ordinance. At least one, perhaps it was 2, of the business owners on Strawberry Street came, so we have no visibility. And out of that came this ordinance, which allowed for signage to be put up to suspend the billboard section, which was fine. It's, you know, at this point though, this is all to circle back to who's got control of the signs in the right of way. Strictly speaking, the VDOT man can come along at any time and collect everybody's signs.
That's right.
Now, I don't know that there's an incentive for them to ever do that. If they did, what does the property owner say? Or, to Commissioner Burke's point, I'm minding my own business and then trip and fall over the sign that's on a corner for commercial enterprise. Why is that sign there? VDOT didn't allow it. Who allowed it? Our ordinance allowed it. So, if anything, to clear that right away of potential obstructions, because again, the Supreme Court's decision from last summer, they're not going to give you exemption on that. They're not going to give the town an exemption on that. It's public safety. You can regulate this signs for public safety while you continue to allow signs where people are walking.
So then the town has responsibility.
Town, strictly speaking, their signs are there because the town allows us to do that.
And so that makes us responsible, for the town responsible.
I'm not a lawyer, though.
I'm not either, that's what I'm
stand in
asking.
front of the
It
judge.
makes sense, right?
Justify
Hey,
it.
1 and 1, you get to 2 at some point. Okay.
Yeah, I think our town's pretty unique too. I mean, there's not a lot of small towns that are like right on VDOT roadage. Most places now, strip malls are set back.
Well, the reality of it is they pay the fine and they keep the sign out there because if 1 or 2 people walk in because of that sign, it's worth the $100 to $200
Right.
fine. I pay them all day long.
Yeah,
There's no teeth.
yeah.
If somebody gets hurt and there's legal accountability, now we got teeth.
But it's all done to be a temporary thing until we had those wayfaring signs. So
The
now that got
temporary-
locked down.
Temporary appears to be years.
Yes.
Yeah,
We need to redefine temporary.
well, that,
Only
going back
that,
2
it was
years.
only that particular ordinance that we came up with, in lieu of the waypoint fines. It was until they got done.
I'm sorry.
No,
No, we
No,
were-
you're right.
We were thinking in terms of months, a month or days,
Yeah.
you know, like that. And now you're saying there's gonna be another group?
well,
If I was a Strawberry Street or any of those street
in reality,
businesses.
what happened was, when we did this, the budget already had been passed for 16 or 15 or whatever it was. It was already passed, we were gonna have to wait till the next year to get it in the budget. By the time that happened, then we're talking Main Street popped up, and now that took another whole year to get going. It really did. So there's your 2 years already based on when this thing was written. So the town council wants Main Street initiative, the community, whatever it's called.
Enhancement board.
The enhancement board to hopefully be their first thing they address. We hope, because they're gonna be their board and they're gonna decide what they do. Only from recommendations from us, but they can turn around and say, nah, we see this is more important, that we find some stuff, could still get pushed back. So, in reality, we don't know. I mean, we push for it and have them, put it on your list to do, because it's a big problem, we want everybody to be seen, and you want this town, but it's a lot more complicated than just doing it.
Well, it's the town.
You're talking about the entire town, but it's also funky.
Right, but as flow of individuals grows in this town, something that is this high, opposed to something that is this high on a sidewalk has become more and more problematic,
Correct. I agree with
in
that.
my opinion.
I mean, I agree with both of you.
And I think if we have business owners that are on side streets and we're trying to drive foot traffic right or left for 50, 60, $150, whatever it is, if we can do something aesthetically pleasing that fits the town, clean up the sidewalk, and still achieve the desired outcome of driving a prospective customer, that makes perfect sense.
Tourism for, what, 2015 grew to 6% on the Eastern Shore, which is like huge.
I mean, when you look at the businesses down there, they only have to sell 2 bottles or 2 bags or, whatever the case may be, going down those side streets to make the $50, $60, $70, $100 investment. Until something more permanently can be done. Seems to clean up the act.
I don't know, one of them's a consignment place, isn't it?
Yeah, they've been around the base.
What I'm saying.
Let's move.
Yeah, they're on
Perfect,
Mason
it's
Avenue.
all, it's on me. They're on where?
Mason Avenue.
But at the end of the day, they really don't have a choice.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I mean, right? They gotta move their sign to in front of their building, so the legality, so everybody's made safe. I don't know.
No, I agree with that. I do. They'll help that corner because now that the lemon tree's there, and they can get that gated fence up there, it makes it even tighter, a lot tighter.
Right.
I know, and that's, us that come in here and look at our stuff, so.
Are we making up for last month?
Yeah.
It's science. It's science.
We can go around circles for this thing forever.
Yeah, we hear a lot.
Any other comment on 5D before we move on to the annual report review?
I will bring the text amendments to council, to commission in February, and that will require an joint public hearing with town council.
Okay.
So that's sooner rather
Do
than later.
you need a motion on that?
No, okay, go for
Do I have a motion to submit a resolution to town council to schedule a hearing for the text amendment change?
So,
Second? Remind us again what this motion is for?
This is for the text amendment to at least identify the zoning administrator as the point of initial responsibility for the signage, not to do the big fix, but at least to do this fix for now.
Right.
And then that's what this is about, and then procedurally to bring to the town council some of the.
Thought I heard a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Moving forward, something.
2016 annual report review, please.
It's actually been a good year. Again, this report is required by the state code, so it can be what the commission chooses to make of it. Obviously, we've got the changes to staffing, well, not staffing, but to the membership of the commission, assignments of the commission to the Harbor Area Review Board,
Right.
the summary of permits and projects, and then the code amendments, some discussion of the comprehensive plan. Council is interested in seeing a documentation of updates of projects cited in the comp plan, and the annual report is the perfect place to cite those developments on a yearly basis.
Okay.
Which should also make the planning commission, future planning commission's life that much easier when they begin the process of amending the comp plan. Because they could go to one annual report and see progress from year to year. So that should speed that project up, and it you know, it permanently finds, that information permanently finds a public record to call home.
Okay.
So, and I'm happy to talk about any particulars in there, any specific data or anything, or activities. Again, it's in draft format, if the commission finds it appropriate, then we'll go to town council on the 19th. If not, we'll bring it back in February and move it forward then.
Did anybody have any issues with the annual report? Do I have a motion to accept the annual report as written?
I make a motion to accept the annual report as written.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? So carried. Thank you, sir. Any new business? And I apologize, I should have pointed you to new business, but that's all right, we still got stuff to accomplish.
Can I put, for new business, can I put something, I know there's three of us here that are very interested in our water situation, at least three of us.
Go ahead.
I'd like to have an update for us next month or the month after on what's going on here with our water quality. So
What's the deal?
well, I mean, what the deal is that, you know, we've always, for the last 3 years, it's been, well, we're waiting for the Keck wells to get online, and it's been like, there's been a problem with whoever has to approve them, and, you know.
It's $500,000.
Is there not a preliminary engineering report?
Yes.
Then it's been always been pushed, it's been pushed to the right.
Well, they're gonna do, Brent's gonna get, this is town manager from my understanding. He's basically gonna get a consultant in here to find out for the hookup fees and a few other things to make sure the water bill's right.
Well, but I'm talking about the quality of the water.
We still have
But
to
what's that
pass
to
the
do with-
trimethyl
I know, but what's that do?
In 5 years, we have not done. I mean,
What's
Steve
that?
Bennett was supposed to take care of this. You should go see him because he ran his whole campaign on it this time.
We're working
Sat
on it.
right here in the seat. Said,
We're working on it.
so, but we
There's no
never hear
answer.
anything.
There's nothing.
Nobody hears anything.
There's nothing, no answer to give you. So, problem is, it's not a planning commission matter.
No,
Quality of water is not a planning commission.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that. That's not this commission.
I mean, that's all I'm gonna get at, it's not a planning commission's.
Well, I don't know if there's a planning, it could be, I'm not sure that that the planning commission doesn't have.
It's really not appropriate, it's really not.
Well,
It's not.
No, it isn't. We're land, we're not water.
Yeah. I mean,
Plain and simple. We're land.
No, we're envisioning that it's the town.
This is part of our comprehensive
So
plan.
it's comprehensive, it's not just land, water, or air, or anything else.
Yeah, we've
It's
already-
everything.
I don't, the
Town
other things
road.
I'm not talking about.
I know, but
I'm
the-
talking about the quality of the water.
the check wells are already there, they're already dug, the reason they're not being put online is there's no need for them right now, because we haven't needed the water amount. You're talking about $500,000 hookup for those check wells.
It's a quality issue with the Keck wells too. It's supposedly bringing them online will bring us a more pure water,
That's
less salinity.
hypothetical, it's the same aquifer.
No, it's different.
It's the same aquifer, we have a single.
It's the same aquifer, but it's further
I
away from it.
understand, it's not that much further away.
Well, it's supposedly, that's the reason they were even brought to
I
begin.
know, believe it or not, I mean, it's being worked on, it's not like it's not on our, we don't talk about it almost every freaking month,
Yeah.
believe it or not. But the problem is.
But I don't think that specific problem is a planning commission issue. I think longer term, it might be, but not,
Well, it's a quality of life issue that people say, aren't you on the planning commission? And,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, I agree with you.
it's a
We're
plan,
all,
you
we're
know.
all easy to touch, I fully
Yeah.
understand that, yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's the same, we get the same, I mean, you get the same crap in the
I know,
town.
I understand that.
We don't run the town, we just basically set up the rules and regulations and the laws of the land. We don't run the town.
Right.
And I constantly tell people, look, you got a problem, go talk to the town manager, he runs the town. If he's not doing his job, then we get another one. That's what town council does. Planning commission is basically advising town council
Right.
on what direction the town wants to go.
Yep. Spend a lot of time supposedly talking to the members of the town. Supposedly.
And they show up in force.
Yep.
But I will be.
When they have something to deal with, yes.
Join with you in your meeting.
Or something
Go
else.
see our county
Yes,
manager
exactly, right.
And see what kind of answer we get. If you ever want to do that, please call me. I'd love to hear.
Ooh,
I mean, you guys,
can we,
This is not in planning commission, this is off the record.
talk to the town manager. I mean, that's the one who's supposed to give you the answers.
That's what I'm saying. Not that I didn't do that like 3 years ago, but.
Different town manager.
Yeah,
Brent
but it-
Brent
it's the
has
same- that should be
visited
the
us on a
same
number of
answer.
occasions. Can we ask Brent to visit us next month?
I will ask, I will,
And prime him for what we want to grill him on?
yeah, some of this, I
Does
mean,
that help, sir?
for,
Okay.
to your point, the CIP is gonna come for review before the planning commission, before it goes to council when they start their budget process.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing exactly when that's gonna be, and, you know, in fairness to the finance office, you know, this agenda pack had to go out week of Christmas
Mm-hmm.
for this meeting.
Right.
But for the February meeting, the CIP should be fairly developed enough to the point where it can become reviewed and then at time goes back to council when they start their budget process, which is probably gonna be the end of February, it always seems to be the end of this part of February. So there's some time there. If I'm not mistaken, and it's in the comp plan even as we speak, the Kent wells are not out year, not far out year, I think they're an intermediate year. 1 to 3, 3 to 5?
You know, you can go back 5 years, 4 years ago, and the Keck wells were gonna be, you know, in 2 years, you know, that 2 years was 2 years ago. So,
Well,
I mean,
no, but it's the same thing, it's the same thing with the sewage plant.
Well, a little
Bay
bit.
Creek's gonna pay for it,
Yeah,
but we haven't
living in Bay Creek, we should know all about that.
But we haven't, the problem is the plant's never been expanded. It's
Yeah.
the same capacity when it was the old one. It has not been expanded. That's the problem, these nutmegs, when they write this stuff, and I know he's gonna listen to this, I can care less. Problem is, the plant has never been expanded. It's the same freaking size it was when it was mandatorily made to be replaced. When it gets to that level, we get to over, what is it, over 250,000 gallons a day.
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the wastewater.
But it's the same thing with the Kent wells. We have to have a draw for it. It wasn't necessarily always going to be put in there because of that, the difference of the chemicals and the water.
It's all about being responsible with the money, is what
Correct.
it boils down to. Yeah. It's really
But there
about-
is, you know, you're right, there is cut issues. I mean, there's one thing you can actually bring up and basically drive it towards on the planning side. You just have to make sure it looks like it's coming from a planning point of view.
Well, I mean, everybody in this room that lives in Cape Charles has gotten noticed the last 5 or 6 years.
I'm with you.
Saying
Yeah,
that our water is not at the standard,
I know, I'm with you on that 100%.
Yep, totally agree.
so.
But we can get it in here and he can explain it to you, but I mean,
Yeah.
but we, from a planning standpoint, you know, we did all this stuff with the Keck wells and how come they're not online?
that letter you get comes from an inability to meet the standard of the trimethyl halide. So we were, I guess, almost 2 years ago, that's a problem with chlorination. So about 2 years ago, we were going to switch from chlorine to chloramine. And I don't know whatever happened about that. I never heard
And you know, if you look at some of the studies right now, they say that chlorine is not even good.
Well, that's true, but that's been around for a long time. But the chloramine doesn't flash off. So,
I was as simple as iodine put in the water.
yeah, well, they've been,
Oh, but it'll kill the fish.
Well, it's true, it's supposed to be potable, so.
Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, from a standing, we can ask them, just to make sure it's on the planning
If he
thing.
could, yeah, if he could be here, we could set some time up. Matter of fact, it might not be a bad idea to have him once a year give us, you know, his take on the town and whatnot.
Oh,
I would make that biannual, in my opinion,
Yeah, once every 6 months.
because it's changing rapidly.
Yeah, well, it is, and, you know, once you're changing for the good, you know.
Yeah. Well, we gotta be as open and transparent as we can be.
yeah, he said biannual, not semi-annual.
Yeah, sorry. It's a little Freudian slip there.
Right.
Semi-annual. Bi-yearly. Every year.
Yeah.
Didn't want to rub on your feathers here.
The point of interest, the Board of Zoning Appeals earlier was interested in updates on parking lots, the parking situation downtown, because they're constantly giving variances for off-street parking. And there's a project for downtown parking for the gravel lot, to make improvements to the gravel lot. So they had requested at their last meeting, which was December 5th, that Bob had kind of give an update on that. Had nothing to do with their agenda, but parking is something that rolls in front of them on a frequent basis. In fact, it will again, less than 48 hours.
Okay.
So it's not unknown to have boards request that staff come update on specific things. But I will pass that along to the manager. This commission is interested in hearing an update on that capital project, or perhaps any other, since ideally the commission will be reviewing the CIP at the time.
Any announcements? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is that